Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. I appreciate each and every one of y'all taking some time out of your day to watch the videos. Today we're going to talk about why people modify. And these are my own reasons, but I think they apply sort of across the board. I tried to hit the gambit of all the reasons I could think of that not only me but someone else would want to modify their car versus buying a higher trim. So stay tuned, folks. That's what we're going to talk about. Alright folks, again, welcome back to the channel, and again, I appreciate everyone taking time out of your day to watch the videos. Hey, if you like what's going on, please subscribe to the channel so you get, and hit that notification bell so you get notifications when I upload new content. I'm going to be uploading a little bit more continuously than I have in the past few months. I've been pretty slow at getting content out. But also remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we have an open chat where we just talk about everything. We concentrate on Mopars, but we do talk about some of the other manufacturers too. So if you want to pop in for that chat, again, that's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tune into that chat. But like y'all saw in that intro, we're going to talk about why would you modify versus, why. This is just, I'll use this as an example because this is always the example. Why modify a 5.7 rather than buy an upgraded trim, be it a Scat Pack or a Hellcat? Well, there's a number of reasons. There's really a lot of reasons. And I'm going to try and hit the monetary reasons first, and then I'll call them emotional reasons why you want to modify versus buying an upgraded trim. And in the next video, I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to say, why would you buy a higher trim versus buying a lower trim and modifying it and upgrading it? So that'll be the second part of this two-part feature, I'll call it. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about why would you want to modify. And I'm going to use the 5.7 primarily in this video, but everything I say for the 5.7 also applies for the 6.4 or a Hellcat for that reason. The reasons still apply for no matter what trim you're modifying. But I'm just starting at the lowest trim because that's always the major question: is why would I buy and modify a 5.7 when I could buy a higher trim? So I'm going to start off with some of the financial reasons and move into the emotional reasons. So first and foremost, and people will argue with me, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper to get the same amount, if not more, horsepower by modifying a lower trim than it is buying a higher trim. And I'll use a 5.7 for example, right? You buy a 5.7, boom. You go buy a 3.0 Whipple and tune it, and boom, you're up over 500 horsepower. More than a Scat Pack and about 130 less than a Hellcat. So you spend $11,000 on top of an RT, and you're still cheaper than a Scat Pack. Especially nowadays with the way car prices are. You can get I'm just going to keep with new. Used is a whole different ballgame. But you can go out and buy a new 5.7, drop 10K into it, and you're whooping Scat Packs. It's fact. It's fact. The 3.0 Whipple, a Procharger, you name a supercharger, throw it on a 5.7, and you're making more power than a Scat pack. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Let alone, you know, if you add a cam and long tube headers. So add another, we'll say 15 grand. And that's being overly exaggerated. We'll say 15 grand, cam, long tube headers, and a blower. And boom, you're well over. You're skirting Hellcat power at that time with 15 grand. And you're way cheaper than a Hellcat. And your HP70 will handle it, I promise you. So that's one reason, right? It's cheaper to modify a lower trim to get the same amount, if not more, horsepower. That's number one. And that goes into my second point is, and I've already said it, it's cheaper to go faster than buying a higher trim. And I missed my exit. Oops. See, I got to talking to you guys and I missed my exit. But so the next money issue I want to talk about is insurance, right? And yeah, we can talk a little bit more in depth about insurance, but bottom line, you're going to pay less insurance when you buy a 5, for the most part, depending on your record, right? And where you live and all of that. For the most part, in general, it's cheaper insurance to buy a lower trim. And then when you modify that lower trim, again, you're getting as much, if not more, horsepower than a higher trim, and you're paying the insurance on a 5.7. Anyway, Maryland drivers doing 55 and a 65. But back to my point, insurance. You're going to pay less insurance on a 5.7, generally speaking, than you are any of the other trims. Now, is that going to be significant? Again, that depends on your record, where you're at, on a lot of different things. But it is cheaper in insurance. Now let's get into a few of the, I'll call them emotional reasons why you would want to modify. So one is, I'll call it self-satisfaction. And this kind of goes into a couple, these all kind of blend together a little bit. But self-satisfaction, right? It's the satisfaction of taking a lower trim, or any trim at all. It doesn't matter if it's a lower trim or if it's a 5.7, if it's a 6.4, if it's a Hellcat. It doesn't matter what trim it is. There is self-satisfaction by modifying your vehicle, and it goes into my next point, making it your own. You know, it's and kind of the way I've been doing it. Y'all have seen it. It's an upgrade here, an upgrade there, and it's just super satisfying to see, for me anyway, to see the transformation of the car into something different, something that's not the same as everybody else. Okay, and that goes for exterior mods. If you're just doing, you know, exterior viewing mods to make your car look different, or whatever the case may be, it's satisfying. It's satisfying doing it. It gives you some kind of satisfaction. So And that goes into my next one. It makes the car your own, right? There's a million different manufacturers. There's a million different types of things, different cans, different blowers, different everything, different headers, short tube, long tube, intakes, the 6.1, the 6.4, the Holly, the Edelbrock. You know, name a part, and there's several manufacturers that make things different. So what you can do is make your car your own, make it one of one, right? I would argue with the setup I have, I'm probably one of one, unless someone went through and copied 100% of what I did. So it makes the car your own. Again, it goes into the satisfaction, right? Self-satisfying. That, hey, I've got a car that's mine, and it's not like anybody else's. So that's the next one. And it goes into being unique, right? So that was going to be my next one, but that's kind of making it your own, the self-satisfying to be yourself, and then making your car unique, making it yours. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is it gives you some bragging rights, right? You know, hey, you can take a 5.7, put a blower on it, and start burning up scat packs, and like, hey, I got a lower trim, put a few $1,000s into it, still cheaper than buying your 392, and I've got more power, and I'm whooping up on you, right? So it does give you a little bit of bragging rights. And if you take the 5.7 a step further, right, you know, you start getting to the point where you're burning up Hellcats. Hey, come on, I'm taking baby brother, and I'm burning up Hellcats, big brother, right? And same thing with the 6.4, right? You can do the same bragging rights with a 6.4. Put a blower on a 6.4, and you're blowing out Hellcats, all right? And you're still cheaper than buying a Hellcat. But I just wanted to get deep into the purposes and reasoning behind, you know, modifying your car. And you know, if you're modifying a Hellcat, that's fine and dandy too, right? It's the same things apply, right? So if you buy, you know, a stock Hellcat, and you can easily be smoking red eyes with very little effort. Very little money, very little effort. Pulley down injectors in E85, and you're smoking the crap out of red eyes, right? So it's easy. A lot of people make it sound hard. It's not hard, but it does get expensive. So the further you go down the modifying route, so modifying is not for everyone, and I get that, right? Modifying is not for everyone, but 100%, the further you go down the road of modifying, the more expensive it's going to be. So that would be kind of a why not to modify, and I may do one of those videos, why not to modify. But I mean, that's the main one, is expense. And the second reason is things, as you go down this road, there are things that can go wrong, right? As with modifying anything, things can go wrong. You just have to be prepared for that. But those are my reasons. Why to modify your vehicle, and I gave you a couple why not to modify your vehicle, but this was supposed to be based on why to modify your vehicle. So that's why those are the reasons why those are all the reasons why I modified my vehicle. So take them for what they are. You know, let me know in the comments what you think. But that's my 2 cents on this topic. Everyone loves to talk about modifying versus buying. In the next video, we'll talk about buying. But that's going to do it for this one. If you're stopping in for the first time, please check out the rest of the channel. If you like what's going on with the rest of the channel, do them a few things. Like, subscribe, smash the bell, shoot me a comment, share it on your social media. I'll definitely appreciate it. Shake and Bake would definitely appreciate it, because every red penny from YouTube goes right back into Shake and Bake. Until next one, folks. Adios.